Well, that controversial idea to allow trains hauling coal to pass through the Northwest has a lot of people outraged. The health and environmental effects these trains could have is still unclear, but happening now, a day-long conference to address some of those concerns. Our reporter Alyssa Harrington live with more on all this. Alyssa?
Stand by. Well, a controversial project generating both support and criticism. Outside the convention center in Portland, I'm standing with a group of those against the project, preparing for a rally at 5:30. Today, though, we did get to hear from all sides, those who are excited about the money and the jobs the project could create, and many of those against it who are concerned about how the transfer of coal will affect the environment. It has its share of supporters and opponents. Amber Energy's Morrow Pacific project. Today, hundreds attended a public hearing at the Oregon Convention Center, set up by the Department of Environmental Quality. Developers are trying to get air and water permits that would push the project forward. The Morrow Pacific project would transfer close to 9 million tons of coal per year to Asia, but the path would go right through the Northwest. Trains would transfer the coal to barges down by the Columbia River. The transfer terminal at the Port of Morrow near Boardman.
There's tremendous economic benefits. We're looking at a capital investment of $242 million in Oregon.
Plus thousands of new jobs. But those against the project worry about pollution, global warming, and health.
Coal is dirty, and we know that this is going to create pollution in the Columbia River, in the Columbia River Gorge, and all the way downriver.
Opponents donned red T-shirts and gathered signatures at the hearing. They tell me they're calling on the DEQ to reject the permits.
Our message is that the state needs to use its authority to stop this project before it gets too far.
But Joni Stevens-Schwanger with the DEQ says the permits are only for the transfer facility in Boardman.
One of the things that perhaps people do not understand in this issue is that we do not regulate rail traffic, for example, or barge traffic.
What they can regulate is making sure there's no runoff from the facility into the river, and that emissions and misting inside the facility will be captured. Those with the project say they are following all federal environmental guidelines.
Every aspect of the project from start to finish has been designed to mitigate environmental concerns in the local level.
We're not persuaded that this is going to be a clean project.
And some of the environmental groups here today are part of a Clean Water Act lawsuit against a rail company and coal companies. They say that coal dust is already getting into the Columbia River from uncovered trains. Now, the rally today starts at 5:30 and public testimony ends at 8 o'clock. Live in Portland, Alyssa Harrington, KOIN 6 News.